Well, I guess let's get some more rounds in here. Purple's going to open things up. I kind of like the mechanical aspect of just moving pieces around automatically. Something about that pleases me. And it's not an overburdening of it, it's just a couple of things move, a couple of things move. Damned if I know what I want to do. Nothing terribly rich is out there. Maybe this little pile of gold is worthwhile, but I can probably do something. It's what I do would not be production though, and I've got these. I've got the black market, which isn't very rich right now. The marketplace, which is kind of nice. Actually, there just don't seem to be a lot of good options out there. The fishery is a good option. Now this is what's kind of cool. I get to go here. I don't have any little fishes, but I get to grab myself 3 fish just for visiting. I like that. You know, if there's nothing good enough to pick up here. On the other hand, it's not that good an option. Because 3 fish is obviously not as good as 3 gold. So we'll grab the money. Nothing else we want to do. However, less of an option here. Now what does he have? He could turn wood into money, but I'd rather have more wood if I do that, I think. And clay. We got the brick house yet? We got the brickworks here. We could produce bricks and cash out of that clay. However, there is production capability here. The sawmills under all the different construction things are covered. That's the problem. So I can't just build, say, you know, I have wood and clay. I could build a hardware store. Wow, look at this sucker. People would pay me for this. They get a wood, a brick, and an iron for that. It counts as both fishing and labor. That's a nice little card in terms of all the stuff it gives you. Oh, sorry, 3 wood. Wow, that's a lot of wood. Well, I could buy the smokehouse if I could build things, but I can't. And I don't have a lot of money. So, what do I want to do? Well, I'll be the guy who goes fishing then. And I'll take those 3 fish. And although I got a little workman here, I don't have a little fisherman there, so I don't get a bonus for fishing. I would get a bonus if someplace... Where are the clay pits? Are they just not out yet? I'm wondering why the clay pits aren't around. So this abattoir is. Where are the damn clay pits? I know they were in my last game, and I'm wondering. We should have everything up to 5 in play, and I'm not seeing them. Oh, there it is, clay mound. That's number 10. So that's something that gets a bonus from having workmen in the game. Okay, well, I don't have the kind of cash to do anything exciting, so blue goes next. And see, blue, well, we pulled somebody off the sawmill. That's cool. That means that there's a production capability here that maybe wouldn't have been available otherwise. So, still not a lot out here. What can I build? Wood is not my biggest concern, but the hardware store looks like it would be decent to own. What about the colliery? This produces coal. That could be kind of nice too. So this gives 3 coal, and people have to pay me 2 to use it. Problem is I don't really terribly want coal. So I am going to go to the sawmill. It only takes me 2 wood to build and a clay. Ah shit, I don't have any goddamn clay. Never mind. Always a problem, isn't it? I could get 2 gold from the black market. That's not too bad. Anything else available? And this is where it starts getting difficult, right? Because you're looking at all the different options. What can I do? What can I, you know, I could produce money. I could produce 7 gold with 3 of these over at the joinery, but I'd also have to pay a food for that. Oh boy. Is taking 2 clay worth it? I think that's what I want to do. I need more production capability, and rather than move my desk clearing off a building, I'm leaving my things that might produce me with additional capital, if somebody else goes to them, free as well. So that's kind of nice. Okay. And I've actually opened up and made the black market more interesting. Of course, what's interesting for me is less interesting for everyone else, and especially when they fill up one of the spaces. Okay, what do we got for red? Red. We need to be food independent somehow at some point, and we need boats for that, but we're not there yet. The sawmill is available. I could build the hardware store. I think that's kind of a nice idea. So I'm going to go to the sawmill. It doesn't cost me anything, which is the sucky part about being the guy who builds that, right? This only takes 1 coal, so I'm going to pay my 2 wood. I'm sorry, 1 clay. And a clay. I'm going to grab the hardware store. And that's kind of a nice thing for other people to go to. Maybe they'll feed me. Otherwise, at least I can go to it and get 3 resources from it. Plus, yeah, it's kind of expensive to build for the victory point capacity that it gives. But I think that it's going to produce me some food, or I'm going to use it every now and then, or something along those lines. I also have $6. $6 is enough to grab the smokehouse, which is actually a kind of nice producer if anybody goes to it. I'm just thinking this is more useful for other people to go to, so I'm kind of interested in that. I don't see anything else I want to buy, so I'll just pass over to green here. Takes a clay and a fish. And now this building's open. Yay! And I got tons and tons of wood. Well, tons of wood I can do things with. I could make piles and piles of charcoal with them. I don't know what to do with the charcoal, you know, what I need charcoal for right now. There doesn't seem to be any big demand for energy. So that's kind of unappealing. There's a pile of fish. Yum, yum. There's the joinery, which could get me piles and piles of money. That's appealing. Other than that, I need some resources. In particular, I could use clay, but that doesn't look terribly valuable. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to finally play my disc. I'm going to throw 3 wood and turn it into 7 gold. Money's not tremendously important in this game, but it's nice. It counts as food at the very least, and that's better than I can do with this. Of course, I did have to pay for that. I had to pay a food as well. So one of those gold that I spent, that I just got, I have to give to him, because I have no food on hand. Okay. And I have piles of money now. $6. I could buy the smokehouse. That would give me some fishing capability, which would make me better at going here. You know. I think I need cash, though. I'm low on food. And you got to deal with food all the time. Over here, we're talking about purple. Got to be careful that you don't pay attention to the discs that are near you, that you pay attention to your buttery or whatever. You know, you got to remember what your color is. That's not hard in multiplayer, but when you're playing in solitaire with all these players, it is going to be difficult. Okay, and there are, I found the solitaire setup. I don't know what the victory conditions are, and I don't really care. I wouldn't play a made for solo game probably for this. So what is my goal here? I have a little pile of cash. I have some grain that I can't really use very effectively. Are there any resources that I really like? There's 3 fish, 3 wood. Anything that I can grab that's better just sitting out there. So this is appealing, but I'd have to pay a food for 3 items. That's probably not good enough. I know I'm going to need food. I'm not so sure that I'm going to need wood with the sawmill out there and such not. But the problem is food doesn't help me build, right? Building is important. And, However, building costs are beginning to get above what I would like. I have enough cash to feed myself. I'm going to grab the wood. I think it's more useful than the fish. Fish, they get stinky after a while anyway. Remember that game Fishy? I kind of liked that, and I don't know why. It had like 3 different games in it: Rotten Fish, Fresh Fish, and Fish Market or something like that. And there was something I really liked about it, and nobody else liked it in my group. Except the guy who owned it, and nobody paid much attention to what he liked, for whatever reason. Alright, so over here, this is the last of the round. I am sitting on that. I have a lot of different options open. I could build. I like building when I can. So the only building that's available is the $1 building farm, which I'd have to give a food up. And I could conceivably build the smokehouse, but that's kind of a low value build. Let's see what there is laying around. I don't really want fish. There's not a lot of value kicking around here in terms of stuff on the board that I really want to grab. I think I'm going to pay to go to the smokehouse. I'll pay a fish. And see, now this guy has food for his turn now because I did that. I wasn't in a particularly good location. And now I'm allowed to construct one of the building projects. And there was only one I was able to build. And that'll convert fish into smoked fish. But maybe even more important, it gives me a little fisherman, which if I go here, I get an extra fish each time. So it starts to build me up, and maybe I want to buy this because of that. Of course, that's $10. That's a pretty high price for something that doesn't really help me except by giving me a fish production. Right? So unless it's just bank money that I'm throwing, unless it's money I'm banking in cards for no good reason other than that, it doesn't seem like a worthwhile action. Let's look for food production. Got a grain, another cow here, another grain here. They just kind of pile up. That's fine. They're growing. They'll be useful someday. It's why it's cool to just get them. Everybody's got to eat. fish. A fish. Everybody's got fishies. Oh, this guy doesn't have food. He has to pay. And we're still only on the 1. Now, in the 2-player game, at this point in this stage, you know, this wouldn't be just 1 card down. After like 5 cards or something, you're paying like 9 or 12 or something. Of course, you have more actions between feeding rounds. But the feeding feels much, much calmer here. I felt really under a lot of pressure in the 2-player game to either constantly be generating food or figuring out some other way to do something. You know, it was just really rough. Interesting, but rough. Okay, the final thing is we build one of these. The town builds this automatically, and we know what it is. It's the inn here. That is going to, if you go in there, you can convert fish and meat. And you can only take 2 meat and turn it into 4 gold each, I guess. And fish, an infinite amount, can turn into smoked fish. So that's kind of nice. Good way to convert meat into money. And that's very pleasing for the guy with the pile of cows. My wife didn't like that these are orange and that these are red. These looked like meat pudding to her, or like just blobs of meat. And I have to agree. I think that I would much rather have the stuff orange. Clay sounds orange. Certainly meat is red. Cows aren't red, but I don't know. All right, so that was the card. Now we're going to flip this, and we get another wooden ship. Again, a 4-pointer going up there. And shall we do another round? Why not? Yeah, I could use a pause. That's why not. Yeah, let me break. All right. I guess we start a new round. My voice is kind of sore because I talked with my wife for, a good 40 minutes or so. I never do that. I never talk to people except on this, and I'm quieter, less emotional. Regular conversation I was. Oh, okay. I'm also a little underneath the weather, which you may know. Blue. Blue has piles and piles of materials. Any openings here? We gotta hunt down all the different production capacities. They're all filled. So I'm not gonna be able to just take anything no matter what. I could buy the Yummy Inn. That looks actually like a hell of a deal. For $4, other people are going to do stuff for me. I'm very tempted to just buy that. If I buy that, I could convert fish and sell meat. Well, selling meat doesn't sound terribly valuable. So... and I think that two times means I can use it twice, as opposed to I have to spend 2 meat on getting $4. The particular choices of iconography in here are not terribly clear, but that's how I remember that one works. So some of them I'll say like, a half of this per grain. That's the other side of it. It's always difficult when you do things with just pictures. Okay, so I can't build anything. Where do I want my disc? That's really what the question comes down to. I've got the black market, I've got the marketplace. Black market's obviously no good. There's materials all over. Iron is of interest. Clay is very interesting, but there's not a whole hell of a lot of that. I could get into the cow business, which would be intriguing. Not sure I really want to convert fish. Where's the smokehouse? Did somebody build that? Yeah, he built it. And that is less efficient than the inn. So the inn is a better deal. The difference, of course, is this produces cash on top of what the inn produces. All right, I don't think I want to run the inn which makes it kind of an iffy proposition, because is anyone else going to use it if I pick it up? Maybe, maybe not. Is there anything else that I'm thrilled about getting done here? I'm sorry, I've been away a little bit. I could turn a lot of wood into charcoal. That's neat. If I had a use for energy or wanted to stockpile some, that would be useful. I'm going to grab myself a couple of cows. It's not really optimal, but that keeps me locked in here still, which is one of the advantages. I am blocking people by being there to some extent. That means red moves forward, grain, and fish. Not a lot of openings here. And, oh, well, again, all the buildings are locked up, so now what do I want to do with what I do have? I got this nice little hardware store. This would give me 3 different kind of nice capacities. Problem is, of course, bricks are useless right now. They'll be useful later. Iron and wood are nice. Fish, I could only get 4 here. That's what I could get at the fishery. Am I terribly interested in the inn? Of course not. I'm just going to scoop up some fish. And now this is green. I should be able to tell just by looking here. Nobody's got a loan. I'm very averse to picking up a loan. Things that you buy don't look like they're going to make you a lot of money, and paying money to get them seems unwise as an investment situation. So now I got a pile of cows. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not quite as many as I want. This abattoir I'd really love to pick up. But again, I can't build anything because all the building spaces are locked. So, what else would I like to do? That's kind of cool. If you have a lot of buildings that people like, you jump in here, you get $4 for each person who's in them. Anything I really, really want? I mean, food's always useful, which is kind of the hard choice there. With the fishery up here, I could get 3 more food. This is less valuable because I have to pay for it. It's kind of the problem with everybody. Not really seeing. I guess I'll grab some grain. Again, it produces. Eventually I'll have a load of it. Money doesn't look terribly worth spending on anything except the inn, and I don't want to do it if I don't have it. Bunch of grain. Bakehouse is interesting for grain. Got 1, 2. I'm not quite up to the load that I want there. All this iron is interesting just in terms of what I could pull. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to collect the iron. Nobody's building anything anymore because all the spaces are locked down again. So they'd have to shift off one in order to build. And I don't have the kind of money that I want to spend on anything particular. And with all the buildings locked down, that means particular materials stop being all that important because you don't know what you're going to be able to use. Over here on white. So you just can kind of take the best material that's available. Well, there's something interesting here. Look at all that. I can get 6 stuff if I take my piece off a building, opening things up, drop it on the black market. I need to spend a food for that. And that'll give me 2 of each where the offer space is empty. So that'll give me 2 iron, 2 grain, and 2 cattle. And that is hard to resist. That was a good action as far as I'm concerned. Now we're back around to blue. And blue says, "Wow, you never get to build anything in this game. I've got to go build something." Now I got to pay to do that. But what can I build? I have a couple of clay. The clay mound can't be built, but it could be bought if I wanted it. Does produce food, so that's kind of appealing. So let's see. I don't have the steel that I'd need for that. I could build the art center. That's a lot of victory points and fishing for nothing. And I could build the coloring. No, I don't have that kind of clay. Okay, so do I want all these victory points? Yeah, I guess so. I'm not sure how valuable it is, but I'll slip him the fish. And a wooden to clay gets me this art center. And now I have a pile of money, but I don't terribly need that. So now we go to red, and this is the end of the round here. It's a no harvest, so the people who added grain and cattle aren't going to get their big bonus. What's open now? Well, the free building's open. Ooh, if we've got building materials, we want that, but all we have is a damn iron. So we got kind of screwed here, just in terms of timing. What would we like? I'd love to go to the black market. It's still rich there, but we can't do that. What kind of production is good? All production is good. I'm just going to grab all this clay. It's part of what's holding me back. There's a lot of need for clay on the board. And now, I guess we pay this out. There's no harvest. It's 2 food per player now. And things are getting kind of squeezed. So he's got to actually pay him money. His 1 fish isn't going to do it. You really don't want to go into debt through starvation. That's something I can assure you, because you don't get anything out of that. Over here, still no food. Gonna buy it. And then over here we got 2 fish. Okay. That's no card is here, so we flip it over, and now we have an iron ship. Now this is a little different. It's a little bigger. You can sell 3 goods once the shipping line's in play. See, it takes metal instead. And it does a little bit bigger. It'll produce 2 food for you instead of just 1. But here's where it gets really interesting. Over on the shipyard, which is, the wharf, which is where you actually build the ship, you need to do a modernization. And that's going to require coke in order to build any non-wooden ships. The first person who goes in there has to spend, in addition to his normal ship cost, a coke counter. And then the whole thing's fine. I don't know what that's supposed to represent exactly, because whatever energy was provided there, you'd think it would have to be provided for every ship. It's somehow upgrading the shipyard from a pure just docks to something that can build iron ships. And it's kind of an interesting thing. You don't see these wooden ships showing up until after the iron ships are available. I saw this in the 2-player game as well. All right, let's do another round on this this little episode, and then I'll take the break. My throat's hurting, but maybe not that bad. This is green. Who's green? Green is over here. Free buildings available. I got materials, at least lots of wood. I can't make up any of the other materials though. So I'm not going to be able to build a building. My cows, I can't really do anything with them until I get something like this. I could play with my wheat, but that's not really useful. So I'm just going to grab the piles and piles of yummy wood. And again, this is just getting richer and richer, but the black market's gone. You know, if somebody's sitting on it right now, and unless they get off, and there's no real reason for them to, we're not going to see anything. Let's get a piece of grain and a fish. And what is... Let's move the purple one there instead. What is purple interested in doing? Purple could build as well. I've got steel and logs. I need clay. What can I do of value for me? Well, food is getting important. So that may be a good move. All this, I could turn all this into bread. Anywhere else that I really see anything I want? I'm gonna grab the 3 fish. That would cost me the same as moving up here. I don't. Do I want this is the question. I could, you know, double my food with that, but I think I'll still hold off. Over to white. Where's white's disc? Okay, white can build. I have clay. I do not have wood. There isn't a lot of wood around. I don't have a lot of anything, really. I would like to get some stuff. I have an extra fisherman, so I'm going to go here, and I'm going to grab myself 4 fish for that. And I think that's all I do. Blue. Nice little pile of money showing up there. Well, blue did a build last turn. They probably don't have another one available. Black market, not as rich as it was a little while ago. The money may be my best move. Just grabbing $4 here. I think that's what I'll take. Scoop that up. And I have tons of money. Is there something I want? I don't think so. I mean, something like this probably would be valuable, but if the guy, if you can't take advantage of it, you can't be sure that the guy with a pile of cows is going to use it more than once. So you get a couple of bucks off the cost. If your cash flow gets high enough, obviously you do want to start spending, but this is close to what the value of the piece is, so I'm just not willing to do it. So I just moved red here, and I don't think I put anything down. And I've got clay now. I do not have wood. I'm in the sawmill, so I can't get wood. Is there a building that really helps me? The inn could improve my fish capability. The smokehouse can too, but that's not as useful. I would really like a pile of wood. You'd think the sawmill would produce wood instead of it does, but whatever. Maybe wood is trees, I don't know. This kind of building is not what I have on any of my things, so I'm not going to get a bonus of additional goods for that. Other people may. It's little houses. I think these are little houses. This guy actually has a really rich payoff by going there that I haven't been paying attention to. I'm having trouble finding anything I want to do. I could grab a couple of fish. The hardware store gives me crap. That's useful, I guess. I have a bunch of this. I could make bricks. The problem here is I leave this. You know, do I want 3 things and open the sawmill up to other people, or do I just want 2 things? I think I'll go get my sawmill. Gets me a wood, a brick, and a metal. Can't think of anything else to do with that. Just gonna put it on green. Green's got tons and tons of wood. Wood is not enough in this world, though. Wood is absolutely not what we need. We don't have the kind of money to buy anything we terribly do want. So, we have a severe lack of food. I don't see a way to get food except by cranking my grain. I'd rather not do that. Shit. I get an extra resource at the marketplace. That looks pretty good. But I gotta pay a food to go to the marketplace. I could get 2 food here. That's not terribly valuable, is it? Convert a lot of wood into something, into energy, which I might need if I'm doing the grain threshing or the smoking. Oh, jeez. This thing produces coal. Well, that's kind of pleasant. Oh, I don't know what we're doing here. I mean, there is nothing here that I want that badly. So I think if I go to the marketplace, pay a gold instead of 2 food, that's going to be the best that I get. Then we look for what we need to build. We have tons of wood. We want one of these and one of these, I guess. We're short on food, but we only need 2. We've got gold we can spend on that. I think that's worthwhile. Then we go here, more wood, and gold. Purple got stuff to build. I'm lacking clay. Ooh, this needs bricks now. See, this is why I can't tell the difference It looks clear when you focus in on it, but when you're just scanning the cards, you see red and you say, oh, that. So who is this? This is purple. The sawmill's available, and I have no clay. I would like clay, but I have none. There's nothing terribly interesting to grab here except piles of wood. I mean, I could take 2 clay. That might be as good as I can do. On the other hand, I could smoke some fish. Doesn't sound terribly valuable. I could thresh some wheat or bake some wheat. 2, 3, 4. So that would cost me 2 wood to get $2, and bread, which beats out fish. Alright, I think we're going to start producing some food here. This is purple. We're going to go here. We give him a food. We're going to spend 2 wood. That gives me 2 energy to convert 4 wheat, and we get $2. It's not optimal, but you know, I think it's kind of a question of what do you need to do, what do you not need to do. I kind of need the red stuff. Yeah, I know. Now we're at this card, and we have a harvest in which grain, and this guy has a grain left, and now cattle, big herds of cattle. Oh, I didn't give him a grain here. I'm owing him one too. It's funny, when my wife and I played, she did farming, but I didn't. But here we're seeing a lot of people with grain and cattle just because they just increment on their own. I think it's more important the more people you have, because you have less actions. So having things that just kind of grow on their own is perhaps more valuable, but I don't know, because the pulsing's a little different. Okay, now we have to eat, and purple went first. Purple owes 2 food. Well, bread's only worth 2. I thought bread was worth 3 food. Oh well, it's as good as fish. This guy has to eat his fish. This guy's got to spend money. He has no food. Over here, fish. Over here, he has nothing but money to eat. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Alright, and the town builds something. And the lowest numbered one is the abattoir. That's kind of a shame, simply because there are people who were interested in that, like the herds of cattle. And now, do you really want to pay $2 to use it? That was always, it would be neat to build it, because then you don't have to pay. It's going to produce a bunch of hides, which might be of some value. And hides flip over to create leather, which looks exactly like them. Hides are kind of cool, but leather is worth more shipping. So there's some value to all that, I guess. And we get another iron ship. Oh, whoa. Are these right? I guess so. I'm looking to see if the turn order was right on them, and I guess it's possible for there to be wood ships embedded in the iron. In the 2-player game, that didn't happen. And that's going to put us on white to start the next round. The nature of how I cover this. This is going to be quite a long set of videos, actually. There's a lot of deck left. This is not a short game. It's not terribly long, but covering every minute of it, basically, and then some while I stand around and try to think to myself. Because I do have AP, there's no question there. Alright, and when I do think too much, it gets troublesome. Well, let's get kicking here. Shit. Yeah, we're gonna have to deal with that at some point. White. Where's white? Who's white? White's over here. White's disc is over there. What does white have? There are, every time I walk away I forget a lot. That's another problem with Euros, especially with all these, you know, different abilities. I have to kind of go over it all again each time. There is building capacity. There's no question of that. And the grocery store, I don't have bricks for. The clay mound. I can't build this. I could buy it, and it's not bad price. If I needed clay production, it wouldn't be bad at all. I have dudes who produce, well, workmen, so I would get an extra one there. So that's interesting. And the colliery, I could build that if I wanted to, except I don't have wood. Wood seems to be a shortage for me, and there's a nice pile of wood sitting out there. That's a tempting thing. Is there anything better? I don't think so. I think I'm just going to grab the wood. Not let too much get in the way. Green and fish with blue going. Anything I can build? I've got wood. Now wood was free. Wait a minute. Shit. There was this available. Maybe I don't want all that wood. God damn it. I didn't have the stuff, and I don't want the clay mound. Although the clay mound is appealing, but I don't have cash. I would have to take a loan out for it. That doesn't seem wise. Okay, what about this guy? I could produce a pile of clay, which is definitely appealing because there's nothing here for clay. So I think this is what blue is going to do. They're going to pay $2 to build this. Now, this is the lowest numbered thing. We had a lot of low numbers in one order. So the town would be building this next, but not this next round. They're building special buildings. So I'm going to buy this for $2. I paid the money. I'm going to take my disc, throw it in there. I get a bonus for laborers. I don't have any, so I get 3 quick clay. Could I have done better? I don't think so. All right, red. Red has building capacity. I could build the grocery market. And I could build the wharf at the same time. Having the first wharf, that sounds like a good idea. I'm gonna go to the double building, the construction firm here. That's gonna cost me 2 food. I don't have any food. So I take a quick $2 instead. I put this here. Now instead of paying the $2, if I had it, I could pay $8. You know, but I don't want to do that. I'm allowed to construct 2 buildings. Oh, I can't do this. Give me my $2 back. I don't have enough wood. So my only option then is go to the sawmill, which is free, and that gives me a wood. I want the wharf more than I want the other thing, so I'm going to get a free wood for that. I put a wood in I have to build with, and I put 2 clay in. I grab myself the wharf, and now I'm the first guy who has the ability to build boats, so people can come to me for that. Cash doesn't really promise to do me any good, so I'll hold off on that. Green, like, buying anything didn't seem terribly advantageous. Well, I'd love to have a boat. And my first boat, if I had Coke, I could upgrade the wharf immediately, but I don't want to be the guy to do that. This is, worth $6, while this one's only worth 2 towards victory. I want to get myself a boat. So, that would cost me 5 wood and 3 energy. There's 5 wood and 3 energy. Where's my desk? I'm green. I'm going to go to the wharf. That's going to cost me 2 food. I don't have any food, so I'll throw him some gold. And then I pay the resources not to him and grab myself a ship. Now, here's where things get kind of tricky. No one else can use this, but there's no 1-point ships. In anything but 5 players, that's not an issue, because ships always produce more than 1 point of stuff. But I've got to kind of remember, hey, I've got this. This thing's only worth $6, but it will help a lot in terms of feeding myself. I don't have cash to do anything else, so I'll move on. And this is what's kind of nice. You only have one little action each time. Yes, you might have to think about it a little bit, but when you don't have to think, it makes each play very quick and very discreet. When you do have to think, this kind of pulsed quick movement is actually really painful, because in a normal type of game, you more of an I go, you go type philosophy, where you have to do a lot of things at once in your turn. You can kind of figure out everything you want to do in your turn and then just do it, and you could spend a lot of time doing that thinking offline during the person before you's turn. But in something like this, I'm forced to make my decision right now, and I don't really know all the information I need, until it kind of falls on me. It's very easy to get knocked out of something or whatever, so that can definitely be an issue. All right, well, that was green. I just moved the purple one, but I don't think I deposited my goods. And if I did, I just cheated. Okay. Purple can't build a boat. I do have some production capability here. I have a wood and some iron, no bricks. This is the only guy with bricks right now. We're getting close to food needs, which are only 2. I've got tons of food. I'm okay with that. Well, what can I get that's a good pile? I could get a whole big pile of fish. I like a lot of fish. Do I have any bonuses over here? I don't have workmen or anything like that. I think I'm just going to grab the fish. And I don't see anything else I want to do. That puts us to the white player. A wood and a clay. Again, no boat for him. He has a fisherman and a worker. So places that get an advantage off that are pleasant for him. He has a lot of building capacity, at least in terms of wood. He doesn't have much clay. I could build the grocery market, but I'd need bricks for that. That's kind of a nice card that people would want to go to. It produces a lot of stuff. Cows, fish, grain, meat. Smoked fish, more grain, more bread. It's a nice feeder. I think people are going to throw me bucks for that if I do that. So we do have a brickyard somewhere, which I could use. But even better than that, maybe the hardware store. So, although there's a lot of clay there, and man, you know, I could get the colliery. That's just as good. I'm going to grab all this clay instead. I think that's better. I don't have cash. I have food. We're good. Now we're back around to blue. And let's make sure we're in the right place here. That'll be number 2, yeah. That's the way of checking to see if you've missed a turn or something, is you can always look it up to see what's going there. And that's going to be a wood and a gold. There are a couple things open, so I could get 2 fish, 2 clay from here. I could build the colliery. I could build the local court. If you have 1 loan, return it. If you have 2 loans, return 1 and take 2 francs. If you have 3 or more loans, return 2 of them. Wow! That sounds like fun. Oh, I want that. I think I want that more than the colliery. I'm going to the building firm where I get to build 1 thing for free. That'll be 3 wood and 2 coal. I grab this. And it's time to buy things. There's no question there. I don't have food, unfortunately. So I may not want to buy anything too expensive. Buying this gets me some labor, which the clay mound helps out with. The inn does not give me any real bonus. This also gives me a house, which the marketplace helps with. I'm going to spend well, see, I'm willing to take out loans. That's the thing. Construction firm is kind of neat. I've got that kind of money, I guess. I'm not sure, you know, do I want to just buy something like the grocery market for $10? I can afford that too. Yeah, what the hell? What the hell? We're taking our first loan, and we're taking the grocery market. That makes us good money. I think people are going to visit it a lot. See, one of the problems with something like, well, taking this doesn't give me any actual funding, although it would help with a couple of my cards. So people would still be able to visit that without a problem. If I took something like this, people would probably stop visiting it much. It's not like the sawmill that gives a huge advantage. Taking the grocery, though, this thing produces so much stuff, it's worth giving me $1 for. So I think I'm going to probably collect good money with that. Now, I could keep buying more stuff, but I'm set with what I did. Now we go to here, and we get our grain and cattle production for the players who have farms. It's not represented as anything other than the grain and cattle. You got land, man. And now everybody owes 2 food. Well, that was blue. Blue does not have 2 food. Time to take out another loan. And there's $2 in change. The loans are worth $4 each. Over here, yeah, we're going to be running that thing like mad. Over here we have, doesn't look like any food there. Over here we've got one food from this, and then I gotta pay $1 for the other food. And by the way, I'm not the only one who gets to use this, the local court. Other people can jump in there and use it. They don't pay me either, which makes it kind of iffy to have built, but we'll see. The loans have just become less threatening. That's really the whole thing. This guy over here, I've got fish and I've got bread. Well, I'm gonna spend the 1 bread because I've already converted that. Maybe someday I'll convert fish, but and over here he has to spend 2. He has none to give up. And let's squeeze another one on here because I'm in the mood to keep playing for a little while. It's going to be a longer video, that's all. Yep, forgot about my boat. Forgot about my card. What does the town build? The town builds the Emporium. Buy as many different upgraded goods as you choose. Smoked fish, charcoal, brick, bread, meat, and leather are a franc each. Coke is 3, and steel is 5. Well, that's kind of nifty, but you got to pay $1 to use it to begin with. So unless you have piles and piles of cash, I don't know how much terrible value that is, but we'll see. And this gets turned up, and it's another iron ship, a slightly more valuable one. Okay. That puts us over on red. Comes here. Wood. Cattle. Piles of wood. What the hell can I do? Ah. So many options now. More wharf. That's very appealing. If only I had some wood. It takes 2, so I can't use the sawmill. I'll just grab this wood. It's hard to tell because the buildings are becoming more valuable. So like the piles are going to get bigger before people actually take them. Oh. What's green want? Green does not have enough of anything to build that. I could build the colliery. That's appealing. What are my building capacities here? The cheap one is already used. I can use my own though. And I can... Oh, no, that's 3 of these. Well, I can build the tannery. I'd rather build something than not, I guess. Just because of the victory point turnaround. I mean, 2 of these for 12 victory points. How can you go wrong? Well, you can starve yourself, but that's okay. And I certainly don't have much money. Purple. Purple has tons and tons of fish. I probably want to smoke these fish. That doesn't sound like too bad an idea unless there's something huge to do otherwise. So I'm going to go here. I'll pay him $1, and I can take up to 6 fish. It's going to cost me only 1 energy total. Do I want to burn my wood for this? Yeah. It seems better than the coal, I guess. I can take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fish, and I get $3 along with that, which overall is a nice little production. When you start hoarding materials, you can turn them around into big lumps of stuff. Now, I have a lot of money in my hand, and there's this cool ability to get rid of loans if I need to. Is there something I really want? I would kind of like a wharf, but 14 bucks, that's a lot of money. I think I'll just hold my cash. You don't lose money by building buildings unless you have to turn them around, but this is white. White is sitting on a lot of production capacity. I could build the colliery. I can build the wharf. I want the wharf, definitely. So that's going to be 2 wood, 2 of these, 2 of these. Can I build another thing? I could build the colliery. I could... No, I can't build the business office. So I'm going to also build the colliery. That means I have to go to the double building, the construction firm there. That's going to cost me 2 food. That's a food and a gold, essentially. Well, that kind of hurts, but... so I built myself a wharf and a colliery and got rid of a bunch of material. And, you know, again, I'm getting a high payoff turn, but a lot of this was built up over time. So you can look at it however you like in terms of how you want to amortize the value there. And blue. Well, blue's got a lot of loans. Burning 2 loans is basically getting myself $8 back. I can't do that. I could return 1 and get 2 francs back. I could immediately take a loan, though. Here's $4. I could go to local court, return 2 of them. Yay, I just generated piles and piles of money. However, is there anything I want to own at this point? Not really. I don't want to go out of my way with stuff. Plus, I may have food shortages. I don't, unless I get that grain turning around, I don't have that. So now, oh, I hope I didn't build something that needed bricks with someone who didn't have bricks. It's really hard for me. I think I paid for this out of cash money. Okay, so this is like 6 good product, or 3 products and 3 bonus products. And that's pretty damn good too. There's just so much available now. It's getting hard to come up with good, to come up with optimizing moves. The business office, I could build that. What does that do? Oh, good God, I have no idea. This iconography, I have no idea how to turn. It looks like you can take any 4 things and turn them into a steel, and then any 1 thing and turn it into charcoal, leather, or bricks. Well, the only way to know is to look in the rolls, because obviously that picture is not going to help. And that is called what? The business office. That's from the basic game too. The player can exchange any 4 goods of their choice for 1 steel. In addition, or alternatively, they can exchange 1 good of their choice for 1 of those others. Yeah. Is this worth a whole bunch of victory points? Because it doesn't look like something people are going to use a lot. Although being able to build a brick, well, you could build lots of bricks here and you get money for it. The shipping line is interesting. This is how you make money off your boats. If people start collecting up a lot of boats, that's going to be a very interesting option. Of course, they have to have materials too. So, let's see. I've not got the materials to build this. I've not got the materials to build this. I only have the materials to build the business office. I think it's worth doing a build just because builds, I think, are a good idea. I can't build in the sawmill. I was just there. So now I'm going to go to the free building. And this is 4 wood and a clay. Grab that. My money may be necessary to feed me. So I'm done. And now we go to green, who gets, looks like a wood and a coin. There's a pile of money there. Eventually these get better than anything else, right? Well, green has no food. Green would like some food. I don't have an easy way to make food other than the abattoir. Did somebody build that yet? I know it's kicking around, isn't it? It's up here. That's $2. I could make a lot of food off that. Because cows turn into 3 food instead of 2. Likewise, though, if I build another boat, I could get food. What color am I? I'm green. This is me. If I build a boat, I could get... Yeah, it's going to cost me food to build a boat. Somebody else has a wharf. Is it any different? Oh, they have both wharf? No. There's another wharf around. I know it's sold, and I'm having trouble seeing. I can't find it. It should be kind of brown, right? I'm not sure what these colors mean. Yeah. Okay, so that again is going to cost me two food to build. So yeah, I'm going to go to the abattoir if I can find it again. This is where the game gets shitty, where you're hunting around for stuff, and it was, you know, getting this way in 2 players, and it's just much worse at this point. So now I'm wandering around the board looking for a card, and so many modern designs have this shit in them, where everything's on cards. Hey, it worked fine for Magic, right? Well, everybody's used to Magic. If you play this and this alone, you're great. Yep, don't see it. Sorry. There it is. Okay. That's going to cost me 2 gold. I don't have 2 gold. Okay, I'm in trouble. There's some fish here. Now, obviously, I could take myself a loan out. And remember, loans aren't as dangerous as they were a little while ago. And, oh, crap. Where was the interest marker? We didn't hit that. I don't know. I think blue had no loans at that point, but I have no fucking clue. It's going to be impossible to reconstruct things at this point. The game's getting to that complexity level where, yeah, this is why you only want to play the short game, because it just turns into a mess. And unfortunately, the short game isn't interesting enough, but this one, the full game, is too much for me. I can see some people coping with it. Certainly solitaire makes it worse, but I'd have these same problems, not solitaire. So what's green doing? I don't have $2. I really would like lots of food. I could just go fishing. What about the granary? Does that cost money? I don't know. We got to find that now. Here it is. That costs a food as well. I'm just going to take a pile of cash. That much cash, hard to turn down, right? And I don't think there's anything I want to buy. We're here. I'm getting grumpy as hell, and it's just going to get worse and worse. There's no harvest this time. Everybody owes 2 food. Green's first. I got to pay $1. I got to ship there. Coming around this way. 2 food. That'll be a double fishy. Or I could throw a bread in. You know, which one do I want to specialize in? Is there something that I can sell one for better than the other? Bread's worth a little more than fish on the market, so I'll spend that. Over here, I got no food. I got no money. I got no problem. Okay. Over here, no food. Lots of money. Over here, no food. Everybody's having trouble. All right, I paid that one off. No cards. We flip this over. We should be on player 4, who's purple. And we have a new wooden ship shows up. This one's with a 6-point return again, just like that one. Just mixing it up a little. All right, we're going to send this mixture up. It's a little long, but like I said, this is going to be a long game in terms of total videos time. And for whatever reason, I think it's worth documenting the whole thing. It does show how it kind of starts to fall apart, at least for me, as it gets deeper and deeper. Now, how many rounds are we in? That's the question. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if there's an easy way to examine whether we're through the whole game. I could look at this, and I could find out how many we're on. This was 9. So I'm about halfway point here. And, well, the short game still goes out to 15. So I still wouldn't be done. But the game would be getting to be this headache at this point, and there wouldn't be much left. But I'm at the halfway point, and the game is probably going to double in terms of the amount of effort and time and work on average throughout the rest of the turns. That's at least my estimation. Part of the reason why my wife and I quit, we had screwed up the game. She wants to play again, but from my point of view, there was the, oh man, I don't know if I want to cope with this. You know, I know it's beginning to get hard. It was beginning to get a headache, to become a headache. It gets late, and it's just, it starts becoming an annoying game. Same way as a game everybody fucking loves. I'm looking for it. I don't see it up on my shelves right now. Age of Renaissance. Really, really well regarded. But, hey, it's a great game for the first half, and then it starts to get really obnoxious. As opposed to Civilization, which is a great game almost all the way through. There's never the original. There's never a point where you're really taxed into having to keep track of so many damn things. Anyway, you know, some people like that, obviously. For me, I'm beginning to learn it's too much. I can handle Supply in the OCS series, Operational Combat System. I played Burma from it recently, well, a few years ago. And, you know, but something like this, it's just not too well grounded. I have to remember all the little special abilities. Every little card is different. Magic the Gathering, do I have to do that? Yeah. But most of my decks are designed so that everything makes sense together. Every now and then I'll make this blue-white deck or something like that, and it's filled with all kind of special abilities, and every card is almost like a surprise when I draw it. And I've got to keep track of all my different chances. One nice thing about this, there's nothing that I can just say, oh yeah, I'm doing this automatic interrupt or whatever. Nothing like that so far in the game. So each decision is a discrete decision where I can actually, you know, look on the board as the person I'm being and try to figure out my best move. The problem, of course, is that's getting more and more, it's getting geometrically complex.